I am Simon Blake, Chief Exec of the National Union of Students, which is a confederation of student unions representing about 7 million students. Twitter is the obvious one because it does photos, it does news, it does inane chit chat. I'm increasingly use Instagram and Facebook less and less, but Twitter seems to be the one which just rides through pretty consistently. I think it makes you human, and if the first point of leadership is being human and being authentic and being trusted, then it's a clear way of doing that. So, yeah, in terms of connectivity with others outside the organisation, reaching people you might not otherwise have been able to do, connecting up, but also people from within your organisation, from within your sector, learning a bit more about you, feeling a bit more connected to you. And then the whole other side of it, which is actually it's the place where you find out a lot, learn a lot, understand a lot, get other people's insight and ideas, which all adds up to a heady mix of being a critical part of being a leader. At NUS, it won't surprise you to know that there is a huge level of engagement with social media. That students and student officers use all sorts of platforms in order to connect and communicate with each other. And sometimes to the point where you think, hold on, that thing you've just published on Facebook should actually be on our website. Or I would have been interested to have learned about that inside the organisation rather than on social media. So across the organisation, we have got a staff team who are very competent and connected on all forms of social media, but also as a group of leaders, a group of committee members and volunteers who are digital natives and learning and driving and developing and teaching us all the way through. I think the obvious one is that every decision you make, people have immediate recourse to you, feel as though they can talk to you 24/7, don't necessarily operate with the same courtesy and dignity which you would sometimes do in person. And those things clearly shift the working, the way that we work, the way we think, and the amount of time that people can have access to. I guess how do you manage that? It is up to us when we answer, how we answer, and what we answer. And I think we have to all take responsibility for that. Whether that is just simply ignoring it, saying, actually, can you email me this, or can we talk, within decent hours, or can we conduct this a little bit more respectfully? And so I guess, in the same way that you have to be a leader in the way that you communicate with people in person, the same is true on social media. And I think sometimes we forget that it's the same rules of the game. It's just a different platform and a different way of doing it. I guess the ones which are perhaps most troubling are moments where you're like, I'm not part of this discussion, and suddenly you're coming at me at 11 o'clock at night, or I did start this discussion because I didn't think it was going to be this controversial. I am actually at a friend's birthday party or somewhere else, and I feel like I do need to engage with it, but I don't want to for very long. So I think that's all about us just learning how to make sure that you're conscious that there may be unintended consequences. People may decide to communicate with you in a way and at a time you don't want that to happen. And how do you finish that? How do you ensure you finish that without it being disrespectful, or manage it in a way which people feel as though you're not shutting them out? There have been occasions where I said something recently where somebody clearly completely disagreed with me. I said, let's just agree to disagree. And their immediate response was, I hope you're more respectful with other students who try to engage with you online. I was like, it's not that I'm being disrespectful, it's just that I'm not willing to argue this point. So saying, let's just agree to disagree seemed to me a perfectly reasonable way to do it. But I guess it may have said it with a nicer tone or whatever. It may have said it wrapped up in a couple of sentences if you were in, in a real conversation. Whereas with 140 characters, that seemed a reasonable thing to do. If you don't overthink it, that's what you actually do naturally, isn't it? I think that sometimes, if you are good at communicating or good at connecting, you will use social media as a route to do it more quickly and easily. I think one of the things which interested me was this morning I woke up with direct messages which were connected to work on Twitter, some which are from Facebook, and some which were via email. Now, historically, I would have thought, hold on a second, what are you doing messaging me in different ways for work-related things? Whereas now I think that is just the nature of what you are doing. You're connecting with people through different mechanisms and through different routes. And unless you deliberately try and keep those boundaries, then that is increasingly going to be the way that it's going to happen, is that people will find you however they want to and connect with you in that way. So I think sometimes very deliberately have got thought, we need somebody to publicise that. When I was at Brook, we would try and get people to support the comedy gig online. When we've been through Stonewall, trying to get some people to endorse or retweet, and then sometimes literally saying, no, we haven't had a chance to meet, would love to have a conversation with you, are you willing? And often people say yes, whereas did you go through formal channels, there might well have been 5 people who were saying, no, you're not getting to that person. So I think that's the other bit, isn't it? That people can get to you who would not otherwise have been able to get to you, and you can get to people in the same sort of way. I had a conversation this morning with somebody from Celebrity Big Brother who wanted to talk to me about some voluntary work that I'm doing. So, ordinarily his agent would have tried to talk to my assistant, and it would just never have happened. Whereas instead, it's like suddenly, okay, I'll give you an email and drop you through. So interesting times. Just do it. Find your own voice. Find your own style. Don't be a one-trick pony. Don't be a different vessel for your press releases to get out. Just have conversations. Almost be like you're at a party. You can talk seriously for a minute, have a joke, talk about your family, whatever it is. It has to be a combination of things, but just try it. Find your way. I honestly think that there is no single bit of advice that you can take other than try it. Don't be scared of it. Use your own voice. Sometimes you'll mess up. Just apologise for it. Don't be afraid. Don't assume that it can be as polished as it would if it went through corporate communications function. And that's okay.